Hi, welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with yoga class for the shoulders today. So if you have a strap handy, keep it close to you in case, well, we'll definitely use a strap or a belt or a scarf. So put it aside for now. In a comfortable seated position, sit nice and tall, close your eyes. And just take a moment to center. Settle in and allow the shoulders to relax, soften your facial features. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Slowing down your inhales and your exhales. Soften your facial features, your jaw and your cheeks. Breathe out tension from your shoulders and your chest. Loosen your limbs. Relax your hands and fingers, your feet and toes. And allow your belly to be soft and relaxed. As the body relaxes, allow the mind to settle as well. So let's set aside everything else. And just allow yourself this moment on your mat, right here, right now. This moment in time, be present. Take that one more inhale and exhale. Open your eyes and welcome everyone. Sit with one shin in front of the other and place your hands on your knees. You can close your eyes here if you like. We'll lean forward and roll the body over to one side, get back and all the way around. Smooth movement, as small or as big as you like the movement to be. Let's go ahead and switch directions. One more circle. And come on back to the center, back to the middle. Switch those legs around. Place your right hand on the mat. Take your left hand, reach it up and over. Press the chest opens and your gaze under that left arm. Push into that bottom hand. Inhale to come back up and then switch sides. And inhale, come on back up, reach both arms overhead. Exhale, twist to one side, let your hands relax down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, to switch. Inhale. Exhale. Again. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Sweep your hands behind you. If possible, you're interlacing your fingers. Okay, if not, your hands on the ground. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Deep breaths. Perfect. Inhale, reach your arms overhead and twist over to one side. Opposite hand on the knee. Sit a little taller. And then exhale, send your gaze over the back shoulder. Inhale, back up to the center and twist to the other side. Inhale, come on back, reach your arms overhead, and then hands down in front of you, belly towards the feet, towards the ankles, and then bowing forward. So go as far forward as it is comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be much. So hold it here, soften your face, allow the shoulders to relax, deep breaths. back up. And now you can sit in hero's pose if possible. If not, just remain cross-legged, crisscross applesauce, sitting comfortably. So it just allows, if you're able to sit in heroes, you can place a block or cushion underneath your hips so that you're able to be a little bit more relaxed. If not, you're nestling your feet in nestling your hips in between the feet and just getting a little bit of a quad stretch here, sitting nice and tall. Allow the shoulders to roll back. Hey, have a strap close to you. So roll your shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, down and back, back and down. Inhale, shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, squeeze it back and down one more time. Exaggerate the movement a little bit. Let's warm up those muscles. And then switch it around, switch the directions. Squeeze it up towards your shoulders, down and forward again. Down and forward one more time. And down and forward. Relax your hands, turn your chin towards one shoulder, rotate the chin down towards the chest to the other shoulder, and draw that semicircle. Back to the first shoulder again. And one more time. And come on back to the center, reach your right hand down on the mat, inching it away from the body, and let your left ear drop towards the left shoulder. And you play around with the angle of the chin here to get a good stretch and then stay with it. And back to the center, same thing other side. Play around with the angle of the chin. Perfect, come on back to the middle. If you have to switch those legs around, go for it. Straps come in handy right now. Grab a hold of the straps. Now reach the arms overhead. So holding on to it pretty loosely. Reach your arms overhead. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling. And then release. Straps forward. Inhale, reach your arms up and over. Press open. And release. One more time. And release. Okay, so you can hold the strap a little bit wider this time. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, and then bring your strap all the way behind you. And inhale to come back up and down again. Yeah, let's go for it one more time. Okay, and then we'll isolate just the right arm. So you just hold onto the strap with the opposite arm and reach your right arm up and over and back and then forward. So kind of warming up that shoulder blade. Inhale up and back and forward. One more time. Okay, and then a little pull, a little side stretch to the same side. And then back, and then we're doing the same thing, other arm. So inhale up and back and forth. Again. One more time. And a little side stretch. Okay, coming back to the center. So this one I like to add just to open up that shoulder a little bit more. It's like a tricep stretch. You can use your opposite hand to the elbow if you like, or just use the strap to help you out. So a little pull back. Again, I'm pretty open right now with my shoulders, so I can go quite far back. So you just listen to your limit here. We'll hold it here for a couple of breaths. And come on back up and do the same thing the other side. The tricep stretch. And come on back up and release. Okay, so take your arms quite close together, about shoulders width apart. Have your straps there. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Press up. Press it back a little bit more. Be careful here. Be mindful too. And one. Release that. Okay, let's put the straps aside or your belly side. And let's come on down into tabletop with your hands and knees. So onto your hands and knees, you could spread to the fingers. Press down into the hands to arch the spine, come into cat pose. And then inhale, Cow pose, let the belly drop, lift your chin. Exhale, take it back to that first pose. And then inhale, belly drops, lift the chin. You can stay with that, or as you exhale, take it back into child's pose and inhale, come forward. Bend your elbows slightly, come into cow pose. And exhale to get back into child pose. Inhale to come back up. Bend your elbows slightly and move into cow pose. And then exhale to get back. Again, bend your elbows slightly, move into cow pose. Exhale. Get back one more time. And then back. Come on back up into tabletop. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands forward. Let the head drop. Deep breaths. If possible, melt the chest a little bit more. Try to stack the hips over the knees. Soften, walk your hands back in. Walk your hands over to one side of the mat. Keep the chest facing the ground and then melt the chest, drop the head. Inhale to come back to the center. Do the same thing to the other side. Walk the hands over, chest facing the ground. Drop the head, melt the chest. Come on, back up. Back to tabletop, point those toes. So you have your wrists stacked under your shoulders right now, spreading those fingers wide. Knees about hips width apart. You're going to draw circles with the chest. So think of this as a warm-up for the shoulders as well as the wrists. So press the hands firmly onto the ground, fingertips and thumbs included. Lean slightly forward, lean your body slightly forward, and then over to one side, back and around. Okay, so firm those fingertips on the mat. Press the hands firmly down onto the mat, and we keep going. And chest drawing those circles, and then warming up the shoulders and the wrists. You've got your knees working here too, so a little bit of movement there as well. Okay, let's switch directions. Keep breathing. Right, and then coming back to the middle. Take the knees together, tuck the toes under, walk your hands forward, and sink the hips back towards those heels. Keep reaching your hands forward and feel the stretch of the mid back, maybe the low back as well. One more breath. Come on back up and then onto your forearms, onto your belly for Sphinx pose. The toes are pointed, feet about hips width apart, elbows at a 90-degree angle, and if it feels like a little bit too much, you can walk your hands forward, bring more of your belly onto the ground. Otherwise, you're in Sphinx. Your shoulders are at ease, chest forward, pulling the belly button forward, and chin at a neutral position. Soft gaze down the nose. So it feels all right. You're dragging your chest forward a little, finding a little bit more space for the front of the body, and focus on your breath. 3 deep breaths. Close your eyes. One more. All the way down onto the floor. Bring the right cheek down onto the floor with stacked hands. Pick your feet off the mat, heels pointed up towards the ceiling. Let the feet drop to one side, back to the center, and then to the other side. Again. All right, come on back to the middle. Back to your Sphinx pose, onto your forearms. If you need a little bit more of a back bend, walk your hands out a little wider. And then press into the floor to lift the elbows off the mat. Your shoulders still neutral. Always the chest is drawing forward and up. And if you need a little bit more, you can walk your hands and you can start to straighten the arms a little bit. So options Lifting chin, neutral shoulders, chest falling up. One more. And all the way back down to the ground. Bring the left cheek down into the mat. Feet off the ground. Windshield wipers. With the feet side to side. Back to the center. Press back up. Feet together. Knees together, toes tucked under. Walk your hands forward. Sink the hips back towards the heels. Head drops. Child's pose. All right, come on back up into your tabletop. Okay. Maybe plank pose if it's possible for you. Push the floor away from you. Firm up the belly. Hold it here. One more. Okay. Step the right foot up in between the hands. So held it up for lunge. Let the hips sink a little as you keep that back leg strong. If you do need to lower the back knee down, you'll do that. Keep that left hand on the ground and reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. And like you're playing a big air guitar, reach that right hand forward towards and down towards the ground, back and again. And switch directions. Bring that right arm across the low back with the palm facing outwards and press that right shoulder open. Hold it here. 3 deep breaths. Try pressing open a little bit more. 2. And 1 more. And unwind. Right hand down to the ground. Step that front foot back. Knees down. Toes tucked under. Sink the hips back towards those heels. Let the head drop. Shifting forward. Tabletop or tuck the toes under. Lift the knees off the ground. High push up. 1 more. Step the left foot up in between the hands or help it up. Legs are strong, front knee step over the front ankle. Keeping that right hand on the ground, lift the left hand up towards the ceiling and reach that left hand forward towards the front of the mat. Down, spit down and back, draw a big circle. Let's warm up that left shoulder joint a little bit more and switch directions. Bring that left arm across the low back, palm facing outwards. Press the shoulder open a little bit more. Push into that bottom hand. 1 more. And then release that left hand down, step the front foot back. Go through a vinyasa here or head right back to your tabletop. Okay. And bring the knees together, toes together, toes tucked under, sink the hips back towards the heels, let the head drop. And we'll add on a puppy pose here. Keep those toes tucked under if you like, or you can point the toes if it's a bit too much, and just point the toes. Otherwise, toes tucked under and hips stacked over the knees. Walk your hands forward. And let the head drop, melt the chest towards the mat. One more breath here. Okay, shifting forward into your belly. Hands by your chest, just slightly under the shoulders. Toes are pointed, feet about hips width apart or slightly closer. Squeeze the elbows in towards the body and start to lift the chest off the ground. Hands just very light on the mat, using the back strength. Shoelace part of the feet still press into the mat. Keep those elbows tucked in. One more. And then release all the way down to the mat. Tuck the toes under. Come back into tabletop. If it's okay for you to come into downward facing dog, go for it. Downward dog. In down dog, rise up onto your tiptoes. Bend your knees. Straighten one leg. Keep the other knee bent and switch. And you can be doing this in tabletop as well. Okay, so if you're in down dog, keep pedaling the feet. And then find your way back to downward facing dog. Both legs are straight. Heels pressing down towards the mat. Pushing into those fingertips. And take the right foot and step it up in between the hands for runner's lunge once again. Let the hips sink and then slowly lower the back knee down onto the mat, pointing the back toe. We're going to make our way up. So if this is hard to do, you have your hands on your front thigh. Again, make sure the front knee is over the front ankle and the back knee is at least slightly behind the hips. Shoulders relax. Now feel free to stay right here. So you're always trying to let the hips sink down and forward as if you're trying to place that back thigh on the ground. Shoulders back, chin lifts up a little bit more. Okay. Bringing a little bit of weight to that front foot. If you need a little bit more, you'll take the left hand and reach it up towards the ceiling. You'll open up a little bit more. If you want, both hands will reach up. So this one is an option. You can reach your hands behind you and interlace your fingers, pointer, index fingers. Shoulders squeeze together, shoulder blades squeeze together, chest lifts, and you're reaching your fingers down towards the ground. One more. And release softly, slowly. Bring your right hand down onto the ground or onto your right thigh and lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. And we'll take a side stretch. So it is on the ground. You can keep it there. And you're reaching that left hand towards the opposite side, almost exposing your chest towards the ceiling here. A little bit of a twist. One more. Inhale to come back up. And I'll take it into a quick half split, shifting your hips back, straightening out the front leg. Two more deep breaths. All right. Shifting forward and you take it back into tabletop or down dog. For those of you who want a stronger class, go for vinyasa. So that's your low push-up on your toes or on your knees. Inhale your back bend and exhale back to that downward facing dog. Left foot steps up in between the hands for runner's lunge. Stack the front knee over the front ankle. Gently lower the back knee down, pointing the back toes again. Knee over the ankle. Hands on the ground is fine. Hands on the front thigh allows you to lift up a little, press those hips down and forward. Bring a little bit of weight into that front foot. Shoulders relax. Chest lifts. Chin lifts. Stay as you are, or lift that right hand up towards the ceiling. Left hand up as well. Option, interlace the fingers behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Your shoulders down and back. You're reaching your fingertips down towards the mat again. Keep lifting your chest Keep reaching those hands, keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. One more. Okay, and then release that. So you can bring your left hand down to the ground, reach your right hand up and over. You could also keep that hand on the front thigh. Again, we're lifting your gaze up towards the ceiling, taking a peek under that right arm. All right, let's release that. Bring both hands down onto the mat. Take it back into that half switch, straightening out the front leg by walking your hands back. Okay. Little lift to the spine and then folding forward. Take deep breaths. One more. All right, let's walk it back to the front. Walk the hands back to the front. Step back. Let's meet in down dog. Again, vinyasa, low push-up. Cobra, up dog. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Pedal at the feet here a little. So bring your knees down to the ground. Keep your toes tucked under. And we're going to walk the hands forward. So your puppy pose here, where you let your chest melt towards the ground, hips up high is great, or just a pretty long spine. Okay. For those of you who want a little bit more, place your elbows down to the mat. So you're almost on your tricep here, not to the front, not to the forearm, but you're almost on your tricep for this one. Palms together, and then you're dropping your head down, melting your chest down towards the mat. Bring your hands, thumbs towards your neck. One more breath. And inhale to come back up. Okay. Point your toes. I'm going to turn to face you now so you can see me a little better. Okay. Point your toes. We're going to bring the left hand and reach it up towards the ceiling. The right hand remains on the ground and twisting to the opposite side. So first thing, so that left hand threads under the chest. The first thing I'd like you to try is to keep the chest facing the ground so you get a little bit of a shoulder stretch. The other arm reaches forward. Okay, so right hand reaching forward, left hand threads under the chest. 2 more. And then you're going to come up slightly and now thread through and take the right hand and take it up towards the ceiling. Now you're trying to press both hands open. The top hand can come across the low back here if you like. All right, unwind, come on back to tabletop. Give it a little bit of movement, cats and cows, some intuitive movement, and let's switch to the other side. So your left hand remains on the ground for now. Right hand reaches up. Right hand threads underneath the chest. Now lower your chest down into the ground as though you're keeping your chest on the ground, facing the ground for now. And the opposite arm reaches forward. So a little bit of a shoulder stretch. And then we'll release that and thread through a little bit more, pressing the left shoulder up towards the ceiling, press open. Option to bring the top arm across the low back. And then release, come on back up into tabletop. A little bit of movement, some cats and cows, some intuitive movement. Good. And then come on back and grab a seat. I'm just going to finish off a little bit more here. Bring the right arm across the low back and use the opposite hand to grab that arm. So interlacing your fingers and nestle as best as you can the hands to your left waist. Okay, and we've got your right shoulder dropping down, and you're letting your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. There we go. Close your eyes, take a couple more deep breaths here. Unwind that. And that same right arm will wrap under the left elbow and coming into eagle arms. So if you have a hard time doing that, just press the backs of the hands together or even grab opposite shoulders. We're letting the shoulders relax, lift the elbows a little, press the forearms away from the face. And breathe. All right, release that and bring the left arm across the low back, interlace the fingers, and nestle the hands onto your right waist, into your right waist as best as you can, and then right shoulder, right ear. And you'll let that left shoulder drop, so this shoulder drops. All right, here we go. One more deep breath. One back to the center. Release, shake it off. We'll bring the left elbow and wrap it under the right for eagle arms. And shoulders are relaxed. Elbows lift up slightly. Press the forearms away from the face. You'll make the modifications as needed. And release that. Roll the shoulders up a few times in one direction and then the other. And come into a comfortable seated position. I'm going to close off now. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a little bit longer. Let's hope it works. Join you soon. Join me soon for another session tomorrow, and then we'll see how we go from there. I'm back to work after that. All right, take care. Namaste.